This video is for the Sea Scape kit. So when you get the kit, you'll have your hoop and your foam will have the 2 needles in it, so take those out. They're very sharp. You'll use those for the felting process. And then also will be included 2 bags of wool. We have this first one here that has the sky, the clouds, and the colors for the sea. And the second one here has the sand, the dunes, and the grass. If there's a crease in your design, don't worry about it. It should come out by the end. So this was the original design. Sometimes I can't get the same colors depending on the manufacturer that I'm using. So I always try and go with the best matches possible for what I can get to keep costs down and just to keep the supply chain going. But you can see some of the other kits, the older kits, have this darker blue. You can mix that with this light blue that's included and make that for your sky as well. To start, you always want to have your foam underneath where you're going to be working. I like to start using the sky and just make sure that your foam is always where you need it to be. You can start out by laying down the whole sky in little sections. You can always go back and fill in what you want, but I find filling it all in at first is the easiest. And it'll stay while you're working. Once you get it all in place, then you can start using your felting needle and just going all over the design. I always like to go a little bit over the edge just to make sure when it's all done that the design has no spaces. And you can pull it off the block every once in a while. Next, I like to add clouds here. You can just put those wherever you want, however you want. Really, it's up to you. I like to add a little bit more clouds down here at the bottom by where the water is going to be. But you can see later on in the video I actually edited it and didn't use that much, but I like to lighten it up a little bit down there. Next I added the sea and I put in a little piece of white to act as kind of like white water for the waves. And you're just going to keep felting it in. And you can kind of do a rough felt at the beginning. You don't have to felt it really, really flat at first. You can just kind of get all the pieces together and then go back. Next is the sand here. You can see I'm just kind of putting it on where I want, and then I'll go over it with the felting needle again. So just keep felting along. We can always go back and add more. Next is the dunes. So this is where you're going to spend a lot more of your time. I like to use those 3 colors to make the dunes. So first I'll make the actual dune humps themselves. So I blended up some of those colors together and put them on, and I'll felt those in. You can see I'm just going away. It's kind of a rough cut. And then this is how you make the little grasses. You take little pieces of the wool and you kind of spin them in your fingers and they'll twist up. So I make a whole bunch of those. So I'm just combining different colors, putting them on, kind of placing them where I want. I'll end up making a whole bunch of them, you'll see, and just kind of keeping them to the side. And I like to use scissors to cut them when they get too long, and then you'll have multiple. So here's some more that I'm making. Just kind of getting an idea of where I want them to go, how tall I want them to be. And then I'm cutting some of them just so they're smaller. And then just lining them up because I'll know we'll be using a bunch of these. So I'm just tacking them in, and then if a piece is too long you can either cut it or pull it like I did and felt it, or you can take the bottom and loop it up and move it to the top. Now here I didn't actually like how tall it was, so what's nice about these kits is you can just pull the pieces off and then refelt them. Very beginner friendly. Again, if it was too tall, I turned down the piece, the extra length, and just felted it back into the same piece. Now a little up close, it focused more on my hands, but you'll get the idea. Just go slow and just make really thin lines. Then when I'm done, I didn't do as many as I did in the original. You don't have to. I don't know what I was doing that day, but I made lots of grass. But it looks fine with just a few of those reeds and Phragmites. Towards the end, if you don't like some of the little poke holes, you can just take the tip of the felting needle and brush it along the top and kind of fluff everything up. And that really helps. And then I like to put it in the hoop. Just kind of find the center, pop it on, make sure the hoop's all the way open. It makes it a lot easier that way. And then you just pop it on. Once it's on, then I like to look and see where I need to make any edits. So here I would just keep it on the hoop, but put the felting foam under and do some edits there at the top, maybe some down here at the bottom, and then go from there. To finish the back, I just get some heavy duty thread and go around and do a big basting stitch, and just a big one, go all the way around, and then when it gets to where I started from, I pull, and then it'll cinch everything in, and then you can cut the edges, and after you knot it back up, and that's it. Enjoy.